The secret meaning of Yoruba beads. The secret meaning of Yoruba beads, told through a girl named Ànìké. In Yoruba land, beads are not just fashion. They are part of who we are. Some beads carry beauty, some carry power, but all of them carry stories. Today, let's talk about beads, what they mean, why they matter, and how they've been used for generations in Yoruba culture. Beads in Yoruba culture are called Ànìké. They come in different colors, shapes, and sizes. Some are made from coral, some are made from glass, clay, or even stone. They are used by both men and women, children too. But beads are not just for decoration. Every bead tells a story of where you come from, who you are, or what you've been through. In the past, people didn't buy beads just to look good. Beads showed age, rank, family, and spiritual power. Who wears beads and why? Babies and children. When a baby is born, small beads are tied around the waist or wrist. These beads are for protection and beauty. They are often blessed by elders. The colors used may depend on the baby's destiny or the family's tradition. For girls and women, beads are part of being graceful, feminine, and proud. Waist beads called Ànìké are worn under the clothes. They are private. Only the woman or her husband sees them. Some say these beads help a woman understand her body and keep her shape. Women also wear beads on the neck, ankles, and wrists during ceremonies. For traditional weddings, the bride is often covered in coral beads from head to toe. It shows beauty, dignity, and wealth. In Yoruba land, kings and chiefs wear beads as a sign of authority. These are not ordinary beads. They are large, coral, and sacred. Only people with royal blood or high titles are allowed to wear them. The king's beads, called Ànìké Oba, are believed to carry spiritual power. That's why some kings don't remove their beads in public. To touch them carelessly is seen as disrespectful. Beads that have power. In old times, some beads were made during special rituals. They were used by herbalists, priests, or warriors. These beads were not for everyone. Some gave protection, some gave strength, and some helped in spiritual work. There is even a bead called Ìlékè Idán, the bead of magic. It is said to only show itself to people with pure hearts, those who are both brave and kind. Some families pass down beads from mother to daughter. These beads carry blessings, secrets, and memories. Beads in ceremonies. Beads are used in many Yoruba events: naming ceremonies, coming of age celebrations, weddings, festivals, coronations, even during burials. At a wedding, beads show that the bride and groom are ready for a new life. At a festival, beads show joy and connection to the ancestors. At a king's coronation, beads confirm that the crown is not ordinary. It is spiritual. During burials, some elders are buried with their beads because beads are part of their journey in life and in death. Every bead has meaning, and so does every color. Red beads often show power, royalty, and strength. White beads are for purity, peace, and the gods. Blue beads are for wisdom and calm. Green beads represent life and growth. Black beads can be protective or represent mystery. In some families, certain colors are used more than others. That's because every color, every pattern has a story. Today, many people still wear beads, but some wear them for style, not knowing the meaning. Some young women buy waist beads from Instagram. Some men wear bracelets with no knowledge of their roots. This is not wrong. But imagine how powerful it would be if we wore our beads with knowledge and pride. In the town of Wu, there was once a bead maker named Mama Fólá. She wasn't rich. She didn't live in a big house, but she was known far and wide for one thing. She made beads that carried power. Not power that shouts, not power that fights, but power that remembers. Mama Fólá's little hut sat at the edge of the market. Nothing grand, just a wooden bench, an old calabash of water, and hundreds of beads strung carefully on the walls like a rainbow made by hand. Some were coral, glowing like fire. Some were deep black, like the night before the moon rises. Some were plain clay, rough but honest. People came from towns, even across rivers, just to buy from her. But Mama never just sold beads. Before she gave anyone a single string, she would always ask the same quiet question. Do you know what you're wearing? Most people laughed. Ah, Mama, I just want something fine for my wedding. I need something that matches my lace. Just give me the one Beyoncé wore last week. But Mama Fólá would shake her head gently and say, if you don't know your story, the beads will keep quiet. She opened the box. Inside were 5 strings of beads, old but alive. She picked the first one, red coral, smooth and heavy. Your great-grandmother wore this. She danced in front of the Alafin with it tied around her waist. She was a peacemaker, soft voice, strong hands. She picked another, a pale yellow one. This belonged to a midwife from your mother's line. She helped deliver over 100 babies. Every time she tied these beads on, her hands became steady. Then a black one with a cracked clay bead in the middle. This was worn by a warrior, your grandfather's cousin. He fought in the Buke War. These beads were blessed with courage and silence. They never fell off, not even in battle. Ànìké's eyes widened. She had never seen these things, never heard these names, and yet it all felt familiar. She looked down at her hands, then at the beads. Mama, she whispered, why didn't anyone tell me? Mama smiled. Because they thought you only wanted fashion. But I knew you were looking for meaning. So can I wear them? Ànìké asked. Yes, Mama replied, but not yet. Sit, listen, learn. For 3 days, Ànìké returned to the hut. Each time, Mama told her stories of women who healed, of men who led with kindness, of children who wore certain colors to guide their destinies. They talked about the meaning of bead colors, the way they were used during birth, marriage, and even death. The way one family never wore green beads because of an old oath. The way another used blue to mark twins. By the end of the 3rd day, Ànìké no longer asked for pretty beads. She didn't even ask for beads at all. She simply said, Mama, I'm ready. Mama smiled and tied the coral beads around her wrist, the yellow ones around her ankle, the black ones across her waist. Now, Mama said, the beads will speak. And on the day of her ceremony, Ànìké walked into the square, not just as a girl, but as a keeper of stories. The elders noticed, the children stared, even the wind stood still. Because now, the beads were not just pretty, they were hers. They carried her people, they carried her spirit, they carried her future. And from that day on, whenever people asked her where she got her beads, she didn't just name the seller, she told them a story. Let me ask you something. Do you wear beads? Do your children wear them? Do you know what they mean? You see, beauty is easy, but meaning is rare. When we return to our stories, even simple things like beads become treasures. So next time you tie one around your wrist, your neck, your waist, Ask yourself, do I know what I'm wearing? Because as Mama Fólá said, if you don't know your story, the beads will keep quiet. Thank you for your love and support. This is Tales by Ijesha, where stories live and culture breathes. From the heart of Africa to your ears, more soulful tales are coming your way. Kindly like, share, and subscribe.